So let's have a look at the use of operators and slicing in strings. So we've already seen that we can use operators with strings. So for example, we use the plus operator to glue two strings together, concatenate them. Or we can use plus equals to take a string on the right hand side, so your lucky color is green, and glue that onto the end of the variable on the left hand side. So plus equals, message plus equals glues that on the end. You can also use the times operator to multiply strings, and you can use slicing just like we did in lists. So let's have a look at some examples of that. So here's again just a bit of code and some printing out some values. So for example, I've got two strings, hello and world. If I take slices, if I take the slice 1 to 3 of hello, that's going to be starting from 1, which is the character E. So H is the character, sorry, H is the 0th character, E is the character 1, L is character 2, and this gives me E and L, but it doesn't give me character 3, which is another L, because the slice, if you remember, that's the starting value and that's the end value, but it doesn't include, the slice doesn't include the end value. So if I start from 3, that gives me LO, and if I start at 0, so I don't give a default value, I use the default of 0, and I start at 0 and go up to 2, it gives me the first two characters. Okay, if I add those two strings together, I can get hello world all as one string, just add it together. Or if I multiply S1 by 2, I get two hellos. Okay, hello, hello. You can't multiply two strings together. I can multiply it by a number, but I can't multiply it by another string. Or I can do things like S down the bottom here, S1 plus equals S2 means that S1 now stores hello world. Or S2 times equals 3, S2 now stores the value world, world, world. Okay, so you can do that kind of thing. Again, not only useful if you're really going to do lots of string manipulation, but then it can be very useful. In operator is particularly useful, however. So the in operator can check, as we saw last week, that it can check if an item is in a list, but the in operator can also check if a letter or a string is in a string. So we can either check if a letter is in a string, or we can use the string version of the in operator, which checks whether one string is a substring of another string. So for example, here is a substring of hello using the capitals, and word is not a substring of world. Even though it's got 4 of the same letters, it's not a substring because it's not exactly contained in world. So this is very useful for searching for strings in a bit of text. So here's another example. Again, we got the strings hello and world, and then if I run it, he is a substring of hello. He is not a straight up substring of world, and word is not a substring of word. And just to look at the code, basically it's saying if he is in S1, then it prints out he is a substring. If he is not in S2, it prints out he is not a substring. So you can see it's doing this test before it decides what to print, and we're getting to see what it's decided. So if were is in S2, then it will tell us that were is a substring of S2. In fact, I think this is a slightly different example I've got here, but you can see the principle. This would normally print out were as a substring of S2 because S2 is world. Okay, I'm going to finish the video there, and then we'll move on to using loops with strings.